So this is Louis, and I thought I would take a minute to give a concise opinion of what's going on, because I think that by the time I actually get to this video, we're going to be talking about days later, because I don't really want to break my schedule in terms of the videos that I plan on uploading. But I wanted to give an immediate reaction to the original video that Boogie did, where I talked about it on Twitter, and I immediately after watching it recorded a very harsh rant. I would have to say that it's probably one of the most harsh that I have done, because it does enter into the territory of personally attacking him, I would say. I've had people questioning whether I did that or not, and if it is constructive or isn't. I would say that in large part it isn't a constructive rant, unlike many of my rants where I do think I make a decent point. In this, I do make a decent point, but it is directly attacking Boogie, because as he admits in the follow-up video that he did in response to all the criticism he was getting, he comes right out and has just this deck of cards of excuses. Just every card he's playing is an excuse. And it's irritating to me, because most of the problems he has, to my knowledge, of the medical condition he has, the mental issues that he has, the physical issues he has, they're all something that can either be treated or cured. These are issues that he could resolve, should he choose to do so. I'm not aware of anything that he's been dealing with that is not something that he could either be in physical therapy or mental therapy for. You cannot be just trying to treat these things. And so when he uses these excuses, such as anxiety, he continues to cite that. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because if you have social anxiety issues, go out more. If it's crippling, see a therapist. If you have weight issues, hire a coach, because now you can afford it. And as far as I can tell, he's admitted that he's had these issues for 20 years. How many years need to go along before you can actually take some responsibility for that and actually try to better yourself? As I say in this rant video, that if you continue to do what you're doing, which is not actually taking the situation seriously and just continuing to play these excuses, these cards, as excuses why you can just continue to justify how you are, you're going to die. You are going to die. You are unbelievably unhealthy. And I'm not trying to use this as a personal dig, but as I say in the rant, you have a certain period of time left to solve the issues that you have. And it isn't just the weight issue, okay? You have more than one issue that you need to solve, and you have a short span of time to do it left, because you're aging. As far as I know, you're like 10 years older than I am. Fat people, once they get so old, they die. So, again, you can continue to play your deck of excuses. It's not going to change the fact that you're going to fucking die. All the subscribers and money in the world and sucking up to feminists are not going to save you. So what's the point? And maybe I'll just play this clip. I'll just take it out of his video where he says, I'm a coward.
I think the primary criticism here that I want to talk about is that a lot of people do feel that I am kind of wishy-washy and kind of a coward, which I think is one way to describe what is wrong with me. I do have a crippling anxiety disorder that I have been medically diagnosed with, and one way to describe that is with the word cowardice.
Because as I say in the rant, you know, that's where I would say I have no respect for you. And I can say that right now, that I don't have any respect for you. You are someone that I can't even pity, because at some point you need to take ownership of your fucking problems. You just need to do it. You can't continue to just say that you have 101 excuses for your fucking problems, okay? At some point in the 20 years that you've had these fucking problems, do something about it, okay? You have the money. You have the success. You have the opportunity now to do something. Any of your litany of issues, you have the opportunity to do something about any of them. And what are you doing? You're having surgery to try to change your weight issue rather than do the natural thing, which is to eat less, work out more. You know, I'm sure you have 100 excuses as to why that is, but I'm not buying it. You're not persuasive. And so the reason that I have this rant is it's amazing to me, the gall of somebody, and I might take back the opinion that I give in that it's not from a position of arrogance, because I do think that to some degree Boogie is arrogant. He can dress it up in as meek language as he wants to, but only an arrogant person that is demonstrably dysfunctional would give other people life advice. You have to be arrogant to see that as a natural course of action. You giving me advice on video games or movies or whatever else, politics even, totally fine, man. Totally fucking fine. But it's like a convicted pedophile telling me how to raise a child. You do that in terms of health. You do that on a regular basis. You are the last fucking person that should be doing that. Whether it's how to deal with a bully, or how to conduct yourself in life, or anything else. You're the last fucking person. You said it yourself that you've had issues with depression for so long, issues with anxiety for so long, and yet you're coming out here telling people how they should live. What's your sage advice for them? You're the last fucking person that should be giving that kind of advice. Again, feel free to give your opinion on politics and the rest of it. You're not in any position to be giving anyone any life advice. Even someone that is completely unsuccessful, has similar issues to you, so long as they're not fucking crippled by their own inability to control their eating habits, or their own laziness and unwillingness to actually exercise. I know that you have some mild, treatable condition, but that's no excuse to be in the position that you are now. Now that you have some grapple over your depression, what excuse do you now have for the fact that you are now having to have surgery just for your weight? And you have to have it. You know this, your doctor knows this, I know this. If you don't have that surgery, you don't get control over your fucking weight now, you're going to fucking die in 10 to 15 years. You're going to die. And I'm not equivocating on that. It's a fact. There are no old fat people to your degree. They don't exist. And this follow-up video that you do, as far as I can tell, you clarify one to two things where I might have to give a greater explanation, a preface, before I even launch into that rant, because I don't want to have a million people on my own channel thumb my video down because they think I'm being too much of an asshole to somebody that no one just pushes back on. You know, it's one thing to call this guy fat and insult him and whatever else, but I don't see anyone out there giving this guy any kind of real criticism when he rightly fucking deserves it. And he might give some wishy-washy bullshit, some mealy-mouthed crap every now and then in regards to free expression and whatever else. Consumer rights, maybe. You know, maybe he does actually give good opinions in that regard and that we would agree on. But again, that's fine to do. It's fine to give political opinions or consumer opinions or whatever else, but you aren't just limiting your channel to that. You also have this entire section of what you do, giving advice to people on how they should conduct themselves. And you are a dysfunctional fucking person. This whole video is just you giving excuses for why you're so fucking dysfunctional. Oh, I'm so dysfunctional. Here's why. I have all these things wrong with me. Here's why. I have all these excuses, none of which I actually personally take responsibility for how fucked up I am, and say, you know what, every time that I give advice to the degree that I do all the time, maybe take it with a grain of salt, that I'm kind of fucked up myself. You do that, but it comes with a deck of cards of fucking excuses. You just lay them out, you know, and I'm not having it. I understand that people want to like this guy, and people that I know like this guy, but it's like, I don't like him. I don't like Boogie. I don't hate him. I don't see him as an offense to the degree that I would see others, because I don't think the guy's necessarily totalitarian. And I kind of find his excuses on, oh, I don't really believe in fucking the white privilege shit. Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't push back on it at all and then use it in your own commentary to defend your own position. I'm not sure why you do that, even though you try to equivocate later on to say, well, I wasn't really trying to say that. Well, you did. I don't really believe in identity politics, but you went to something that was way just beyond identity politics to explain yourself and what you believe. Why would you go to that degree to explain a position? Why? Well, I'm just trying to be in the center and blah, blah, blah. Well, do you think it's false? Yes. Why use it? Well, I'm a coward. Well, that's great. Thanks. Why are you giving me advice on how I should conduct myself again? Why? Why does anyone fucking take you seriously in the slightest? So, in my opinion, as it relates to Boogie, and maybe the rant that I do as this continues on, maybe I will do a long, an explanation and then end with the rant in terms of Boogie. Because, in my opinion, out of all the people that are out there that need pushback, they don't just need me ranting at them, but genuinely need people criticizing them, I think Boogie's one of them. The guy can't be the sacred cow. And I know people are going to say that's a pun or whatever. No, I mean that people treat this guy in every conceivable way with kid gloves when he is out there giving opinions. And they deserve to be criticized because often he's giving shit opinions or mealy-mouthed opinions and shouldn't be. Because he admits that what he's actually saying is wrong. I mean, he did it in the video itself. He said, no, I actually think that this is entirely wrong. Why did you then purport it? If you know that it's wrong, well, I'm just trying to bridge the divide. Well, you're not doing that. You're not bridging any kind of divide when you're positing information and arguments that you know yourself to be false. You're either being completely dishonest, which I'm not going to accuse you of. I'm not going to accuse you of being dishonest. I'm going to accuse you of being a fucking doormat. And that you are not effective in bridging the divide for that reason. Because no one respects a fucking doormat. No one. I don't, certainly. People on the other side certainly don't. So, I don't know what to say. It's just that, again, I don't think this guy gets enough fucking criticism. Because he needs some kind of adversity. Or somebody to actually just give him a smack across the face and say, listen, okay? Figure your shit out. Stop lecturing other people. Figure your own shit out. And you know what? The question that I have for him is, how do you have all of this litany of issues and you've never sought therapy for them? How? It's been so many fucking years. You've had these issues for almost as long as I've been on this earth. Why have you not taken the time to try to figure them out? Because again, as far as I know, most of them are not something that you are crippled with for the rest of your life. You can actually remedy a decent portion of them. Why don't you? You have the money. You have the time. Make vlogs doing that, because I've seen you do those in the past. Do those. Show people. Don't just fucking preach. Practice what you preach, you fucking asshole. And again, this is not the rant. This is just me having to fucking respond to this, because it's so outrageous. But I'll do a full video. I'll do the rant. I'll include the rant. I'm not going to edit it more than just to make it somewhat articulate. Because I go pretty fucking hard. And I don't want people to be too put off by that. Because I think that this may be one of the harshest fucking rants that I've ever done against somebody. And I do make it personal. This commentary that I'm already recording is decently harsh. Whereas I don't see anyone talking about this guy in this way. I don't see anyone. Never. I have not seen one video talking about him in the way that I'm doing right now. Where it's not just deliberately mean. It's not just calling him a fat fucking blah, blah, blah. I've seen videos like that against him. Dismissing him. But I don't see anyone actually saying, like, listen, why don't you just get your shit together? Why? Just why don't you? Why do you see it as your fucking prerogative to lecture people, not just give people advice, but lecture them on a panel? Where immediately after, you have to record this entire diatribe about how you're a fucking pussy. You're a self-admitted coward. You're fucked up beyond belief. And Anita Sarkeesian, out of all people, confront you, and you just roll over completely. Don't you have any shame? Don't you have any fucking integrity at all in that degree, to that degree where you can say, like, I shouldn't be this way. I need to actually change right now. Where is rock bottom for you, bro? Where is it? In all honesty, I have more respect for the guy in that photo, who I think was English, who held that sign that said that he liked it. It's not unmanly to get fucked in the ass by your girlfriend's strap-on. I have more respect for that guy than I do you. Get your shit together. Figure your shit out. Stop excusing all of your fucking dysfunction. And stop being a fucking pussy. Stop being a doormat. You know, I'll just leave it there. All right. I'm sorry if this is mean or whatever, but I mean it. Like, I genuinely mean what I'm saying here. I just don't get it. If I was as fucked up as you are, the last thing I would be doing is going around and giving people advice on their fucking life, how they should conduct themselves, how they should act, what their worldview should be. If I was fucking dysfunctional, I would be giving them the opposite, telling them the opposite of how I am. You know what? I'm fucked up. Be the opposite of me. Do the opposite of what I did. You don't say, when you get bullied, punch them in the fucking face. Because I learned the hard way. I learned that the way that you deal with a bully is fight back. Stand up for yourself. That should be the first and last fucking thing you do. And I'm not going to get into it, but that's how you beat a bully. You be aggressive back at them. Whether it's online, in which you can just dismiss it, or, you know, you have banter with them. Maybe it's just trolling or banter. Maybe it's just that, and you don't even know it because you perceive everything as harassment. Don't take online harassment seriously unless it is. Unless it's actually someone trying to swat you or call your company or whatever. If it's just insults, ignore it or have banter with them. Know when people aren't worth your time, and know when people are worth just fucking with. And throwing it right back, throwing that bullshit that they throw at you right back in their fucking face. And if they get in your face in real life, if they're physically abusive to you, fucking hit them. Hit them. Even if you lose a fight, at least you're not a fucking pussy. Better to lose a fight than to be a pussy for the rest of your fucking life. That's my position on fucking bullying. Get somebody like me on that goddamn panel. If you're so much of a fucking pushover, stand down. Don't go on the fucking panel. Pass your position up to somebody who has some fucking balls. Thanks for listening.